Hey guys, welcome to the podcast Basic to Beast. I'm your host Neil, a recent graduate, masters from Manchester, and a bodybuilder in the making. With me, I've got my co-host Abhishek Vincent, who's going to introduce himself in a second. Go.
Hello, guys, everyone. How are you all doing? This is Abhishek Vincent, a graduate and a corporate employee looking forward for mutual growth and a life full of discipline, success, and peace. That's me.
All right. So yes, why should you listen to us? What's in this podcast for you? Cool. So the way we're going to go about this podcast and why we are actually trying to start it is we ourselves are going through that transition phase where at times we feel lost. We talk to so many people who have recently joined the workforce, who have recently graduated, who are still studying, and they're all a little lost. They don't know what they want to do, which makes them feel a little hopeless in terms of what's going on. The job market's horrible, physical health is not working out, and things are feeling a little low for them. And what happens is when we talk to each other, we're able to uplift ourselves. I've met so many friends
Absolutely.
when I'm by myself, I feel really alone and a little lost at times myself as well. But the thing is, when I sit with my friends, be it Abhishek, who I've known for almost 15 or like 17 years,
It's 17 years, bro. Yeah.
but the thing is, he has been there when I needed him. And that's why we want to be that for other people too. We want to share that vision. With this podcast, we want to bring in normal people like us, somebody who's gone through some tough times but has been able to build himself up again. I've got another lady who's an amazing woman who I go out for runs with, who runs a run club, who does regular marathons, and it's like an inspiration. I started running a few months back, and I did that with her run club. I want to bring her on this podcast so that she could tell us all the benefits that she has seen in her life, and so that we can be a little bit more healthier. I know a tech grad who I want to get on this podcast, who is a digital nomad, which is a relatively new concept, but it tells us about the opportunities that are available out there. So that's why I want to have this podcast so that we can uplift each other, get more normal people on the podcast, and get figure out a way so that we could progress, so that we could learn from each other and we could build ourselves up. What do you think, Abhishek? What do you think you want out of this podcast?
Absolutely. You're right, Naz. The main thing is like nowadays, people are so depressed. People don't have the clear vision what needs to be done, what needs to be done, and like their personal life, their professional life, they're so confused. And that confusion leads to some things that you cannot make a better decision. This happens a lot. This happens a lot. So yes, we are here to not like we are here to help us as well, because we are here in the podcast and we do have many people out there who guide us, and we do have some uh, you know good people out there who lead us into some uh, like give us some knowledge, meditation, some feedbacks, and by that particular knowledge, what we gonna do is we gonna share with you guys, and yes, let's see where it goes.
Cool. So yes, now I'd like to start with an introduction of the things that I've faced in life. So I was born and brought up in India, where I grew up in a loving family, a Christian family. But the thing is, I myself have seen a lot of health conditions throughout my life. By the time I was 10, I'd already been through like three surgeries to get rid of something that was called auricular sinus, which was tough. But the thing is, when I got to 13 years old, something new came up. There's a TED talk on that topic as well. It's a condition called hidradenitis suppurativa. And the thing was, while I was going through that, I went to the doctors and I was told there is no cure for that condition. It's just like the normal acne that you get, but I'd say 100 times worse and all over your body. So, yeah, that was something that I heard when I was just 13, 14, 15. I went to multiple doctors, saw the best doctors in the country. Ames, you've got Fortis, you've got Ganga, you've got Lady Harding, anything and everything. Even south in one of the biggest hospitals that we've got, Vellore, nothing ever came across. I was always told that there's no cure for it. And then what happened was I joined a university back home, back in India, and a few weeks into it, I realized that this university was not something for me because the quality of education that we were getting over there, it was just not good enough. They were teaching us some things that were not relevant to the degree that I wanted to do, or the topics that I wanted to learn about. And so yeah, like I mentally checked out of that place. But the point was, I was still going to the university because I was like, I want to go ahead with this because my parents have already paid the fees and admission fees and everything. They've already helped me get into the university. I don't want to let them down. So I tried to still continue with that education. But what happened was, my health again took a downturn. And this time I was bedridden for almost like 6 months. I was not
I
able to go out
remember
of the
that.
house. I was not able to do anything. I was just stuck at home. And something interesting happened. So what happened was, I'd always had a dream to actually study abroad, but I never actually acted on it because there was that fear that coming from a middle class family, whether we'll be able to afford it or not. It was a massive outtake. So what happened was, once I got to that point, I was like, fuck it. What we're gonna do is either we go abroad or I'll start working for my father. I told him straight away when he asked me like 4 months in, when I was like at home, and he asked me like, "What do you want to do? Do you want to go back to uni or what's the plan?" I was like, "I'll either go abroad for my higher education, or I'll start working with you, no problems at all." It was a little complicated, a little tough to convince them because it was a really big challenge for them too. But the thing was, we all acted in faith. And yeah, in 2017, I actually joined Manchester Metropolitan University and I moved abroad. I moved to Manchester, but all was just not good just yet. So what happened was, once I moved to Manchester, there was one more downturn that we had to go through. So I was here by myself. I had acne all over my face, horrible acne. My health condition took a downturn again, and around January, I was able to make a few friends. But the thing is, because by that point I had severe social anxiety and depression, I was isolating myself to a point where I would only talk to people maybe like once or twice a month. I would go to the university. I was working at Amazon, so I would go for my work and then just stay inside my room. My diet was horrible. I was only eating like pizzas, fries, and Coke. That was my breakfast and my dinner. I was not eating healthy at all. But what happened was, slowly and steadily, I got worse to a point where one day I even thought about trying to continue. But the thing was, I got scared and I told myself, "You've gone crazy. Go to bed." It was around 3 in the morning, so it was middle of the night, and I was like, "Yeah, you've gone crazy. Go to bed." As soon as I woke up, I called another one of my friends and I was like, "Yeah, I need to talk." And we started talking. He listened, and then he asked me if I wanted to go on a trip. I went on a trip over there. We took some photos, and I am not sure. I will have that photo, but when I went on that trip, we took a photo on a cruise that we were at. It was not a cruise. What do we call it? It is called a ferry. Yeah, we were going on an island, and we had to take a ferry while we were taking some photos. And for the first time in my life, my stomach was sticking out. When I saw that back from the trip, when I saw that, it was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna go with me. I will not be fat. That is, the people will take it as fat for a bit, but for me, it was more so about health. I wanted to be healthy. Healthy level of body fat percentage. That's what I need. So what we did was, as soon as I got back, I'd already taken a gym membership, but not been there much. I found a routine. I followed a few YouTube channels that we will mention on the podcast as we move on and focus on the fitness aspect. But once we did that, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna push myself and start eating cleaner, start exercising, and kind of like act on things. So for me, I'd always had that faith that God is with me and He will heal me when the time is right. He's probably trying to teach me something which I'm not getting just yet, but I will get it someday. And when I do, He will heal me. And I think that's what it was. I started eating cleaner. I started exercising regularly, 6 days a week, which is a little too much, but we did it. Once we did that, after doing that for a month or so, I saw myself getting better. As I was going for my grocery trip one day, a few missionaries called me and they asked me whether I wanted to learn about Jesus. And I was like, yeah, I grew up in a Christian family, but I still wanted to learn more. I said yes, started taking lessons, and that changed my life. So, because I acted on faith, all the pieces started falling together.
Exactly.
It all started
That's
falling
the
into
point.
place. The puzzle started to solve itself. So I was going to the church, I was praying, I was doing scripture studies, I was eating cleaner, I was exercising, I was talking to people again. I had more friends while I was in church. And when I went to the doctors, they gave me a minor medication. So before this, I'd taken the toughest medications that are there. So isotretinoin, Accutane. Anybody who has been through acne trouble, these are like the nuclear medicines that are like the last option. I'd taken everything, nothing ever worked. But because the initial steps had been taken, like the scripture study, the eating cleaner, the exercise, the doctor just gave me a minor medication and it started working. Something that had never happened. This time it did. So we
Exactly.
continued and we slowly and steadily built on it. We did our studies, we did our education, and yeah, I just kept building on it. I just kept focusing on building more muscle, being healthier, being leaner. And yeah, we got to a point where last week I did my first bodybuilding show. And that was amazing. Going from somebody who was on the bed for 6 months with no cure. The doctors told me there is no cure for this condition. There is none. We don't know why it happened, so we can't even cure it. Now,
Exactly.
perfectly fine. I'm not saying it's gonna work like that for single person, but the thing is, every single thing, my nutrition, my exercise, my scripture studies, and professionally as well, because I was able to meet more people. Yes, like we said, like I was saying, the doctors told me there was no cures for it. But the point is, still, through regular scripture studies, through a cleaner diet, working out regularly, reaching out to friends, I was able to overcome that condition that had me under its control for almost 8, 9 years. And a good news is a few months ago, so about a month and a half ago, I actually stopped all medication after a long journey of almost 13, 14 years, was finally able to let go of the medications and I don't have to take anything anymore. I just have to take care of my stress, eat cleaner, continue with my regular scripture studies, continue with my progression. And as long as I do that, I'm perfectly fine. And that's the reason why I want to start this podcast. I want to share my story. I want to share more stories like this where people have gone through hell but have still come out on top of it. We look at the news, we look at everything that's going on around us, and it's so disheartening. It's so full of despair. But the thing is, we don't have to be like that. As long as we stick together, we teach each other, we learn from each other, life can be great. And yeah, that's why we're here. And there are going to be more experiences that I share on this podcast. There are going to be more studies that we learn about. Because anything that we do talk about, we will try and get supporting evidence. So when we're talking about fitness, we will try and get out studies and post them in the disclaimer so that you guys can click on the links and go out and read those for yourself. Because self-learning is crucial for everyone. Same thing goes for professional growth as well. Whenever we do say something, we will try and get the links for supporting articles, supporting studies and evidence for you so that you guys can do your own research as well before you implement anything. Along with that, we will try and focus on a few areas that is going to range from fitness, personal progression, you've got spiritual growth, you have professional growth, what's going on in the industries. And yeah, that's my goals with this podcast, my mission, why I want to be here. And now we're gonna move on to the introduction of my lovely co-host Abhishek. And yeah, Abhishek, take over the stage and tell us about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. So, uh, right now I don't want to tell about myself, but I really appreciate the thing that you people are still here and, listening us. And that is really one thing. Like, whenever I think about Neil, he gone through so much, and he's here just because of a few things, which is like discipline and uh, the meditation and the mindset. So these three things are there. I always used to think like, what should I do, to go ahead and like make my life better. But whenever I see any other people, like if I see Neil, like he do have that, that disorder. But right now you can see him, right? He's like he's healthier than me. He's like bulkier than me. He's healthier than me. And I was like, dude, how you are doing that? And he was like, no, it's so simple, bro. You just eat clean, you exercise daily, and that's it. I was like, how is this possible? Because you see, like he already told everyone that the doctors say that it cannot be cured. We don't know what happened, and like there is no cure. But you can see him, right? If like we do have something in description, like your Instagram or something stories that just compete in, and so if you see him, like you're like, dude, how is this freaky possible? But yes, it is possible because of the discipline, the mindset, and the meditation and the scriptures. So yeah, in here, like I really appreciate you all that you are here and listening to us. And one thing I like, we cannot guarantee the success or anything, or like you will have this or these kind of mindset or this kind of strategies that you can work on to help yourself financially or mentally, or no. But one thing that we guarantee is the progress that you will get with our experiences. And obviously we invite some new folks as well, experiences, so that not you guys but we as well understand, and you know it will eventually grow our knowledge. So that is what our goal is. And yes, like for me, if I go ahead and introduce myself, I'm just a simple guy. Okay. I'm here. I'm the one guy who studied masters in chemistry, and then I did my bachelor's in education to be a teacher. But then I used to work in a call center when the COVID was there, and then and then I was a banker guy, and now I'm with MedLife, which is an insurance company. So I don't know what the heck I'm doing with my life, but life is good. And why it is good? Exactly. Why it is good? Because I do have the sustainability, the peace, and now I'm like satisfied. Whatever I am. There are many things that I have did wrong. I know, but I don't have any regrets. And men don't have any regrets, bro. No regrets. Coming back to normal, guys. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. I guess this is all from my end as of now. But yes, we do have many more talking to do, many more things that we can discuss on. We do have fitness, we do have cars, bikes, we do have machines, we do have business, we do have growth, we do have mental peace, we do have scripture, we do have every small thing that you can think of. And yes, welcome to Basic TVs, guys.
And yes, we will try and bring out one podcast every single week. So hope you guys are here and you're able to learn something new out of it as well. And yes, this is going to be your host, Neil and Abhishek, signing out for today. And see you guys next week.
Ciao.